Do people understand how many transactions you've had your hands on in the last year? Not in a bragging way, not in a like, look at how much real estate I've done, but in a way of saying, like, look, here's a map with all the pinpoints on it. Here's all the sales I've done in the last 3 years. And if you're gonna do real estate in this marketplace right now, do it with somebody who understands what's going on. Do it with somebody who's had their hands on a lot of homes, a lot of paperwork, a lot of transactions, because you need somebody who's seen it. You need somebody who has an idea of what's going on.
Welcome everyone to 10 Tenths, where we coach real estate agents out of burnout and into high performing businesses that fuel their life. Episode 200, Garrett. We made it. Episode 200. This is it. Assuming we didn't add another one that randomly appeared before this one, but we've made it 200 full episodes, coming up on 2 years of this podcast almost, Garrett. Welcome. This is exciting.
This is exciting. I think, it's crazy, Matt. We've been doing this for a while. Yep. We have a lot of with the podcast that we were doing before, we have a crazy amount of episodes under our belt. But to hit 200 with 10 Tenths is very exciting. And appreciate all of you who continue to tune in, continue to listen to us and the information that we're able to bring to you every week, a couple times a week. And so with that being said, Matt, with celebrating 200, let's jump in because we do.
Before we dive in though, because today is the 16th, and I just want to make sure people don't miss this, because tomorrow we're doing our webinar on the engagement engine, which is our framework on how to create an incredible communication system that leans on your strengths. So go to 10tenths.co and register for that and join us tomorrow for that. Now, let's dive in because you came up with a great topic today, sir.
Thanks for keeping me on point, Matt. So there's a couple things right now. One is that the industry and what's going on out here. And, we have this kind of changing marketplace as everybody's trying to figure out where they're going and what they're doing. And is the marketplace moving fast in this direction? Is it going to a buyer's market? Is it going to a seller's market? Is it just staying flat right now? Matt, you and I started talking about it and going like, okay, let's just stop with all the noise here. What do the consumers need right now? And first off, because of the confusion in the marketplace with realtors and with consumers, I keep leaning back to trusted advisors, somebody that they know that they can lean into and be like, okay, you know what's going on. You are the one that has your hands in what's happening out here. And I trust you to make me feel safe through this process. This is an opportunity we have right now. So our goal with this episode right now is I want you to walk away from this episode going, okay, I need to focus on this with my business. I need to make sure this message is going out. We're going to give you some ideas on how you can lean into that a little bit, how you can bring that to the top. Because Matt, I think people need it out here right now. The consumers need it out here right now. I'm hearing about transactions that are going south halfway through the transaction, people walking away from earnest money because they're confused about what this market means. And I don't think the agents, the realtors are leaning in enough to saying, I can guide you. I know I have a pretty good idea of what we need to be doing here. The opportunity's there.
Yeah, it is. And confusion exists in any market. And this is where, outside of this topic, it's like the complaining about, oh my gosh, buyers don't know this, sellers don't know this, ChatGPT this, Claude that. It's like, okay, got it, right? But are you showing up as a true professional that allows you to help shepherd your clients through whether a deal goes south or not? Because I was talking with someone, this was a couple of days ago, and this agent was saying, we just lost, there was their listing. They just lost the buyer because the buyer's parents said, well, that's not the house that's going to work for all of us because we want X. They were trying to basically come into multi-generational living. And I said, that's a shame because it was right up to the end of the deal. Like they were under contract for a while, did inspections and everything. And I said, that was a missed opportunity for the buyer's agent to really understand their buyer. That deal was never going to work out if that was the case. And she was like, well, we can never have, the parents come and be involved in the deal. I was like, no, I get it. And I even believe that buyer's agent is a great agent, but there was that key piece that was missed, which was the parents are moving in and they have requirements as well. So that home was never going to work. It should have never gone under contract, but we didn't know. And the buyer didn't know because there was not an active process in getting to know them. And Garrett, you said before we started recording, the number of deals that you have under your belt help. Now, I know there's many new agents that listen to this too, so I'm not saying this is the only thing, because skill set builds experience and the two cycle together to compound to create a better experience for the consumer. And we need to lean into that and use our experiences to say, oh, that was a fluke. No, that wasn't a fluke. That was a missed opportunity for us to ask better questions to understand the client so that we can keep deals alive and get in the right deals, Garrett.
Yeah, I think one of Ian Schwartz said this, who we interviewed a while back. Ian's a good friend of mine. He's with Coldwell Banker up in Chicago. And Ian said, just listed and just sold postcards are proof of competency. That's how he said that to me years ago. And I was always like, what a great way of saying that, proof of competency. And so when I think of the opportunities that exist out in front of us right now, I was coaching an agent the other day and I'm like, you got to understand, like, you have a lot of transactions under your belt. You have done so much real estate in the Seattle marketplace. Like, do people understand how many transactions you've had your hands on in the last year? Not in a bragging way, not in a like, look at how much real estate I've done, but in a way of saying, like, look, here's a map with all the pinpoints on it. Here's all the sales I've done in the last 3 years. And if you're going to do real estate in this marketplace right now, do it with somebody who understands what's going on. Do it with somebody who's had their hands on a lot of homes, a lot of paperwork, a lot of transactions, because you need somebody who's seen it. You need somebody who has an idea of what's going on. I look at a lot of agents currently right now, and this is for newer agents listening to this, who are saying, I don't have that. Like, I can't show those numbers. But it's amazing how fast I'll be like, how many closings have you had in the last year? And let's just say they've had 3 closings. Great. Did a just listed or a just sold postcard that shows proof of competency go out for any of those transactions? Well, no, it didn't. Well, those are your moments. It's not bragging. It's not saying, hey, look at me, I just got a commission. I know some agents look at that and they go, well, the consumer does the math. And they go, wow, they made a lot on that. No, they don't. Other realtors do that. Consumers do not. They don't care at all. So really what it comes down to is, are we using the opportunities to showcase the results that we produce for people, the great, testimonials that people go, oh my gosh, working with Matt Benelli was one of the best real estate experiences I have ever had. Hands down, I've sold real estate all over the United States, and that was the best experience I ever was able to experience. Do we have a way of transmitting that information out? Because right now, confused consumers, they need somebody they trust. They're leaning into the people they trust. But if they don't know they can trust you, you got nothing to go off of. And we got to use those opportunities.
Yeah, I think, and we definitely do, because we believe in relationships a lot. And even NAR stats show 70% plus of sellers only interview one agent, all these things. And so we know that relationships are going to work. However, if there isn't a competency component to that relationship that is secure, one of two things are going to happen. Either people will also interview somebody else, and that 30% who interview more than one agent will grow for you in particular, or they'll use you, but the referrals won't be there. And
yes.
And Garrett, I think there's two sides of this, because if you are new, you're like, oh gosh, okay, great. But like, how do I okay, you could start sharing it when you have some deals. But if you're someone who's like, I've only done like 2 deals, or I only do about 4 or 5 deals a year, I don't have it. Like, that's still enough to show competency. The other thing is competency in results, if we use that to build a better skill set, because we have seen, Garrett, some people, they do some deals and maybe comparatively in their market, it's very low and they don't get better at it. Are we learning from those deals? And if you're new, how can you insert yourself to observe deals so that when you're conversing with people, you have the experience of seeing how deals work? Because it's not just to be able to say, I closed this many deals, because there are also some team leaders out there, and this is not a knock at team leads at all, who like, yep, I got 200 deals under my belt from last year, that maybe they only really played in 30 of them and the rest were their team, right? So same way that they claim the 200 deals, I'm not saying a agent can claim that they did other deals, but if there's somebody in your office that you can say, hey, is there a part of this deal that I could observe and just learn? Because if you get into it, now you are also helping transform your identity from I'm a new agent who doesn't know anything and I need to go get my hands dirty somewhere to I'm learning my hands are dirty because I'm experiencing it side by side with someone that's going to allow me to now go do this myself. That is a great thing to look for, Garrett, that a lot of people don't. And that'll help build your competency. So when you're in conversation, you may not have the just listed, just sold postcards, but you can say, hey, I've worked with Garrett. I've stood by his side for the last 10 deals that he's done to like see how all this stuff work. And my skill set is there, right? If somebody is questioning the experience.
Well, and you made the comment just a second ago about they might come use you personally, but they can't send a referral necessarily. And that being able to send a referral, that is absolute trust that you're going to make them look good. And it's not like I'm going to look amazing by referring Matt. It's just, I know that they're not going to call me back and going like, really? You sent us to Matt? Like, all right. Like, I mean, here's all the things that kind of like, he didn't get back to our email. He didn't call us back. He didn't, all these things that he didn't do. These are those things that you got to.
Well, I think this gets into, anybody who's new with something, right? Like if you have a new restaurant that opens up with an unknown chef, an unknown staff, people are going to probably want to go check it out because it's novel. But are you going to recommend that people go there if you haven't tried it, you don't see the results? Versus if a well-known chef comes in and opens a restaurant, you could probably recommend it without even going because you're like, I've been to Garrett's 5 other restaurants. Man, he knows how to do it. We got to go check this out. You got to go check it out. It's probably going to be a home run. And unfortunately, this is just a part of being new to anything. So for those of you who are new, are like, I don't have referrals coming in yet. I know that's part of the game. But if you've been in the business for 10 years and we don't have referrals coming in, there is a missing link. There's either a validation of this person has the competency or we don't have the communication. And if we have both, we probably should be seeing some referrals flow in there from this, Garrett.
Well, and this is where I want to go back to like, well, what are some tools that we can be doing right now? So let's say you're a newer agent. Let's say you don't have a whole lot of transactions under your belt, but you do have some. You've got some for proof of competency. You're not just sitting here going like, well, I haven't done a deal yet. You're going to be my first. We're not there. We've passed that hurdle. We've got a couple deals going. I started to think about like, well, what are all the postcards you could send? Well, we list a home, let's say. So we got a just listed postcard. We've got hopefully soon after that, a just sold postcard. I look at it as that we
postcard in between there too. We have an under contract postcard in between there if you want to.
You can do an under contract one. You can do a before and after with staging of what did the house look like before and what did it look like after we got it staged. You can look at it like, taking your own photography and then what it looks like when you have a professional photographer come through. And these are the types of pictures that we do. You can do that on your own house, by the way, and showcase it as this is the level that you should expect when you're working with a professional. You can look at testimonials from the people that you've worked with. That could be a totally separate card piece on its own. You could do, oh my gosh, whatever. There's case studies you can do. You can go back and say, this is the journey of like a buyer and what they can go through and the experiences that they might have through a real estate transaction. There's all these little spots you can say, okay, that was one transaction that I maybe had 5 to 6 to 7 different points that I put out of an experience that somebody, nobody out there knows that that's the same client. Nobody out there knows that that's the same house. Nobody knows that's only one transaction, but it's all proof of competency. And I think that that's one of your number one goals in this marketplace is to get people to understand that you know what you're doing. You know it better than they do. You know it better than most real estate agents in the industry. And Matt, I'll even say, as you said it before we started, there's a lot of really good real estate agents out here that don't know what the real estate market's kind of doing right now. I mean, even with them doing a lot of transactions, I'm having coaching calls where they're going, I don't know what to say to my clients right now because I am super confused. You just need to know enough. You need to know a little bit more than everybody else so they can go. Even Matt says he's not sure, but I trust his opinion on this. So if he has a little glimmer, that's the guy I'm listening to.
What are we trying to figure out anyway? I mean, the decisions that are being made are emotional. We're trying to figure out like, well, what does the real buyer market look like so that we can have the perfect analyses of these different properties over here to then, create the best financial investment possible when you're actually just trying to find a bigger backyard for your kids to play in? Like, wait a minute.
Yep.
People are going to make an emotional, hopefully reasonable decision at the end of the day. And our sample size as an individual agent on what's happening in the marketplace is too small to really be able to say this is exactly what it is. But we do our best. Coming back around to this proof of competency, Garrett, too, all of those things that you shared are all about storytelling. And you can take one deal and turn it into a ton of different storylines that can provide education and value to your people. You can also, if other people are willing to collaborate with you, use other people's listings and transactions to also share some stories, right? And this is where I think there is an opportunity of this merging of the real estate influencer and new agent in a way, right? And we see people who share other people's listings online. And I think a lot of people went through if I show that I'm doing stuff, even if it's somebody else's listing and I'll give them a little piece of credit, it kind of looks like mine. That's maybe what's going on internally. Don't even take that approach. Just look for the story that you can share, and it also can benefit the listing agent. Like if you're going to sit open houses for a listing agent, let's go and create some content around that listing. Start to share some stories about how it was prepared and share their before and afters of the staging and give them all the credit and all these things, because ultimately, I don't think the consumers, Garrett, are paying so much attention to like, well, who's the person doing it? It's who's sharing the information with them, because that's building the relationship. And by the way, this is helping you learn as an agent. Like if I was starting over as new and I had a good friend who is a producing agent, which got a lot here, I'd be like, hey, can I collaborate with you on some of this stuff? Like, I'm going to do this for you. We're going to get some promotion and I'm going to help share some stories and we're all going to win. Why not do that to share some competency and build your competency? Because ultimately competency is your skill set, and then it's just being shared. And if you want to build the skill set, you got to put yourself in the situation to practice, right?
Well, if I used to before and after for staging, and let's say it was your listing, Matt, and at the very bottom of it, and I'm not just stealing content, by the way. I'm not just going like, I hope Matt doesn't catch me on this one, so I'm going to make this little postcard. We're not doing that. I've talked to Matt. I said, Matt, would it be okay if I used this? Do you have maybe I ask you, maybe we go out to lunch. I'm like, do you have a listing I could maybe do this with just to showcase this? You put that postcard together at the very bottom of it. It has a disclaimer. This is Matt Benelli's listing, all that stuff. Your clients aren't going to read that far into it. This is something that they're going to see your face. They're going to see the before and after of what staging can do for a home and why you recommend it and the power that it has. And that's about as far as they're going to go. I would love to say everybody takes every postcard that comes in and they read through it from front to back and all the little points that are on there. And wow, his logo is really cool. Like he really spent some time on that. Like he's really professional. Like they don't. They look at it really quick and they go, real estate, Matt Benelli or Garrett Fry. And they go, okay, that's right. That's what he does. That's his useful purpose to us. He puts out good content. Look at that. And when that real estate moment comes up, is there enough trust level that they can go, we should introduce Garrett to our friends who are thinking about selling? That is what you're trying to build. You're trying to build that trust bridge there where they all of a sudden go, it feels good to make that connection. I don't have to worry about that. And we're watching a marketplace right now, Matt, that's like, I've never seen a better one, that if that bridge is built, they are wanting to take their friends across it and go, let's make the connection. Let's get you guys going here. Opportunities are all around us.
They are. And I know we've spent some time here on like, if you're new and trying to build credibility and all that stuff. And there's a lot of nuance there. And I'm sure you all have even more ideas, or even maybe like, ooh, I don't really like that idea. Great. Go over to our YouTube, share your thoughts in the comments. Below this episode. And I'll highlight this one thing. And then I think we want to just hit on the experienced agent here for a minute, Garrett, which is if you're also new, just your competency can come from, how you communicate with your individual people. So it's just also knowing that, ooh, a listing just went for sale down the street from Garrett. I'm going to make sure that he knows about it. That is demonstrating competency. I didn't list the property. He knows I didn't list the property, but I'm telling him about it and letting him know that if he has questions, I'm available for him. That level of personal attention, particularly if you're a new agent, is a demonstration of a competency. Okay, you can't send the just listed postcard that shows that you're doing listings, but you are doing the business, you're doing the advisory by taking that step of sharing what is listed. But now, Garrett, if you are experienced and you have all this stuff, I mean, why do we not have a process in your own business plan that helps share the evidence of work in a valuable way? Because I think this is where people hesitate. They're like, well, I don't want to be braggy, like you said. They also don't know like how to actually process it and do it in a way that's efficient and does provide the reader of a postcard or the reader of an email with actual value.
Yeah, I think first off is I think, we talked about the agents that are maybe don't have, or they have the lack of experience. And I use the comment all the time where, we have people that are starting in the business and there's no difference between a person who has an amazing database that are not contacting them and the person that has no database. Like there's really there's no difference.
They're both not doing business.
So in this situation, I look at it and go, okay, so here you have the inexperienced agent and we're trying to talk to like, here's where you can grab all these things that maybe you can do this with. And then you have the experienced agent that actually has all these sales. They have all these people that would do testimonials. They have all this stuff and then they're doing nothing with it. And a lot of those agents, Matt, are the ones that are saying, I have a lot of repeat business. I have a lot of people coming and using me again, but I don't usually get a whole lot of referrals, or that doesn't really unlock. Or if they do say they're getting referrals, they count repeat and people, coming and using them personally as referrals. I'm like, no. That's not that what that is.
Referral. That is somebody, which is great, by the way. Great that people come to you.
It is great. Right. But just know if you unlock that other window of true referrals, magic. There's miracles out there that'll take you to levels in your business that you couldn't even dream about. But I think that this is where it's like, well, going back to storytelling, what are the stories we can tell? And I think a lot of the experienced agents fall into a place, Matt, of they're working about as hard as they want to work. They know there's another level they could go to out there, and gathering these testimonials, gathering all this stuff, doing all these things, creating all this stuff. It's just like, oh my gosh, like I don't have the time to do that. And what I would lean into is not all of it, but what is like one simple thing when it comes to the storytelling of the experience that people are having with us right now to build the confidence that you have the knowledge to be able to help people out here. What are the simple things we can lean into? And I actually think the story told by our clients through testimonials, hands down, is one of the best things ever. It is not bragging. It is others talking about how amazing you are. And that's what I would be leaning into right now, first before anything, is gathering those stories. Abby Baker's doing it right now down in Florida. She sent out an email the other day, or something was on Facebook, where it was like, we're gathering testimonials and here's where you can go to put this in. I went and left her testimonial. My testimonial even says, I have not used Abby personally, but as a person and as somebody that I know is a professional in the industry, like I would use Abby in a heartbeat. And I think, gathering those stories and that credibility of who you are as a person and also as an agent, so much information, but we just need to pick one path, start gathering that. And then if you get that going really strong, then go like, well, am I leaning into like before and afters or case studies that people have experienced, or, what we're maybe seeing with home inspections right now and actual addendums that are showing up and how buyers are working with those and how sellers are accepting them right now and the trends that we're seeing in this current industry out here right now. There's all kinds of things you can talk about. What do we want to lean into to help people understand that you have the competency?
Well, Gary, you said this. I don't know if you said this on this episode yet, but you said it to me before we hit record, and you said there is power in being and presenting as an active agent, right? And active can mean a whole number of things, right? All of these ideas that we've just kind of thrown at you in the last 20 minutes, right, are all ideas. Yep. And you just summed it up greatly by saying, pick a path and go with that. Have a process of like, how do I want to share that I am active. Doesn't mean that I have to share, oh my gosh, I'm selling all these homes if you're not. This isn't about lying or presenting as somebody you're not. It's showing that you're active, because even if you're new, you're active. If you're experienced, you're active. And I will also say that skill set and experience aren't necessarily directly correlated. They're not always married together. You can have new agents who have great skill. They don't have the experience yet. And you can have experienced agent who have terrible skills, right? I hope that you're not one of those, but they exist. Gosh, I mean, we've seen people who are 30 years in any industry, and they just kind of been having their first year over and over again because they've never really developed the skill. They just existed. And when you marry the two together, that's where you have tons of opportunity to share, this is how I'm active. In the beginning, you're going to lean into those skills, and that's how you're going to show you're active. As you grow, you get to marry the two together, and you can be there, and that just amplifies trusted advisor to your clients. Which, is that going to solve the confusion problem, Garrett? Maybe, maybe not. But it keeps you focused and allows you to be the advisor so that you can solve the confusion for that one person who's in front of you, because that's the most important part. We're not here to solve the confusion of the marketplace. We're here to solve the confusion of this person who has hired me to guide them so that they have clarity to make a confident decision that works for them.
Well, to have some fun with this real quick, to kind of put a bow on this. If you were going to go take gardening advice or, vegetable gardening advice from somebody, I'm going to take it from somebody who has dirt under their fingernails, somebody who has, hands that have been in the soil, seriously, have been in the soil, working the soil. They can sit there and say, here's how my tomato crop worked last year. Here's how this worked. And they might go, oh my gosh, we had the biggest turnout of strawberries. And I'm not going like, oh, look at you bragging about your strawberries. Like, okay, show off. Like, I want somebody who can sit there and say, look, this is what I do every single day. And I think we have so many opportunities in our business to showcase that we have our hands dirty in this business. And a lot of times the people just can't see it. Our clients can't see it. And that's where sometimes the trust doesn't come up. And Matt, as we've talked about so many times, like, our goal is to help people build referral relationship businesses that allow them to go out and have an amazing life, that builds incredible trust with their clients. So people, you're not having to sell to them over and over and over again that, look at me, I can help you, I promise. Let me show you all my flyers. Let me show you my website. Let me show you all these things about how we're going to showcase your property. When you can prove the competency level at a very high level, it gives you an incredible freedom in your business, because people aren't second guessing you. They're not constantly going like, oh, I hope they know what they're doing. They're standing back and going, that is my professional, and I'm hands off. I don't need to worry about it. Matt's got this thing. So not only do you get referrals, not only do you have more people come back and use you, but you actually get freedom back in your business and time back in your business. And that is why you should be thinking about this right now. Because I'm watching people right now, Matt, that are going, I think I'm going to hit my goal by June. We have people in our community, in the group coaching. We just had it happen the other day where they're like, I see that I'm going to knock my goal out before it even hit mid-year. That's amazing. That's the marketplace we're in right now.
Yeah, which is so, I mean, and that's honestly, that's the marketplace we're basically always in.
Seriously, it is always there. Life changes don't stop for anything. Those things are going no matter what the interest rates are, no matter what the housing appreciation's doing. People are still having babies, losing jobs, getting jobs. They're getting transferred across the country, whatever it might be. That stuff is still happening. So with that being said, just a reminder to all of you, your business should fuel your life. It should not consume it. And that's one of Matt and my number one focus. And if that feels right to you, we have a community for you. We have 10 tents. We have our group coaching. You can come and join us. Download our app. We would love to have you there. And tomorrow we're doing our free webinar. So come and join us for that. You can go to our website, 10tents.co. You can find out the information for it there. And we appreciate you so much. Have an amazing day, guys.